the great things about fishing are the varieties of fishing and techniques. One of them is fly fishing and fly tying.
You know, that is a thing of beauty. I mean, it's an art form actually. The fishing with the fly rod and then the fly tying, it's all in itself such a cool deal. You know, we have really pristine streams around here. The carps, I mean, I remember going in there with you and we actually stayed in a wall tent, fished for a few days. It is a treat. You have to experience it yourself to actually know how cool it is.
So it's a wilderness area, you have to pack everything in and out.
11 miles we walked in there. I mean, it's a jaunt in there, but it is, you have to experience it. It's fun. You don't see barely any people. And to see the fish in the river, I mean, the water was so clear. I mean, it is neat.
Today's Super Yooper road trip, Lake Superior and the North Shore of Minnesota. With more than 200 miles of shoreline, the North Shore runs from Duluth, Minnesota to Grand Portage and the Canadian border. With 10% of the Earth's fresh water, Lake Superior is like the Super Yooper Riviera. Hundreds of rivers and streams run the North Shore, including this gem, the Little Sucker River.
The thing with the North Shore of Minnesota, in the top 3 counties here in Minnesota, Lake Cook and St. Louis, there's over 1,200 miles of designated trout water. So that is a huge amount of water. You can't explore that in multiple seasons. So there is migratory fish water where we have amazing steelhead fishing in the spring. There's fishing for pink salmon in the fall, and there's great fishing for native brook trout in our upper reaches all through the summer. So some of those wide varieties of things really are what make the North Shore a great experience. And if you go just a little bit inland, you get great smallmouth bass fishing as well. So, you know, it's a hard place to turn down.
I picked this spot because there's that major falls, and so I'm guessing that fish are either staging in this slow backwater because they can't get up over the falls. This is that hole that the geology limits the fish from getting over.
The Little Sucker flows into Lake Superior, about 30 miles north of the twin ports of Duluth, Minnesota and Superior, Wisconsin. Both are consistently rated as top outdoor towns in America, and it's easy to see why. This is dog-friendly country. Old Baxter got a chance to nose around town. The Twin Ports are a working waterway, and here's some massive proof as the Paul R. Tregurtha steams into port. At a record-setting 1,013 feet long, the Queen of the Lakes is the largest ship on the Great Lakes ever. To many Native Americans, Lake Superior is known as Gitchigumi, Ojibwe for Great Water. It's so immense, Superior creates its own weather systems. And as the storms move in, plenty of respect must be given. When the gales of November came early, the Evan Fitzgerald sailed out of Duluth on Sunday night, November 10th, 1975, into an historic storm on Superior for its tragic final voyage. Today in Duluth, the newly revitalized West Side is home to Bent Paddle Brewery. Once a month, they host a group of fly anglers for beer and bugs. Bent Paddle brews a hearty IPA, which helps set the mood for learning the art of fly tying.
It's one of the oldest fishing sports in existence. So as you're tying these flies, bear one thing in mind, that a lot of the patterns that you'll probably be introduced to are 500-600 years old.
He knows fly angling is a sport that requires science, artistry, and plenty of patience.
Fish typically, like a steelhead, a brook trout, has 2 seconds to see its food. 2 seconds, 1001, 1002. In that 2 seconds, they've got to decide, is that edible, or is that fake, or is that a piece of stick, or is that a rock?
And they're really good at it.
And they're really, really super good at it. Not only are they super good at it, they're super fast at it.
Just up the road is John's fly fishing boutique, the Great Lakes Fly Shop.
Great Lakes Fly Shop, this is Alyssa.
For close to 2 decades, the Great Lakes Fly Shop has become a local resource, a collective, and the place to catch angling gems of wisdom.
It's more than a store because it offers a sense of community for people who are engaged. We're a cactus fly, so we're tying these up.
Oh, you like butt rubs and you know it, huh? I'll take it. Alyssa, nice to
We have pictures from 17 years of fishing all over the shops. It's a place of community. We have a lot of regulars to just kind of share their joy or their passion of their fishing experiences. Especially with the art of tying, I can't tell you how many times I've had people come in and just drop a fly on the table, be like, hey, try it out, I thought it was cool, what do you think? So definitely, it's creating this really unique dialogue. It's not necessarily about catching the fish, but obviously I love to catch the fish, but it's more so just about being out there.
Back on the North Shore, Alyssa leads a hardy group of anglers deep into the woods. Good fishing is hard work, and their inspiring walk into the woods provides a priceless payoff.
Fish will typically stage in these slower water sections because it's easier on them. Imagine having to maintain a position in water for your entire life. You're going to choose water that's less velocity and less speed because it's easier on you, it conserves your energy. And it's easier to obtain food that way too. It's moving at a slower rate towards your little fish mouth.
But sometimes the river needs a little TLC. On this day, a group of volunteers arrived early on a Sunday morning for their annual river cleanup.
We're going to help the migration back downstream for the fish. Right now there's a blockage in the natural flow of the stream, and the fish on low water can't make it back.
It's not easy to fool the fish, but it sure is fun. The community of fly anglers on Minnesota's North Shore embrace their role as stewards of the outdoors. The appreciation and insight earned provide plenty of unique rewards, even if you don't catch a fish.